It wasn't the knocking that scared me at first. It was the fact that my truck wasn't supposed to be moving. My name's Leo. Long haul for 15 years. I'd seen every kind of weird on the interstate, from midnight hitchhikers to phantom trucks in the fog. But this run from Phoenix to Boise was supposed to be simple. I'd pulled off I-84 in eastern Oregon around 2 a.m. into one of those bare-bones rest stops. Just a cracked parking lot, a darkened bathroom block, and a couple of picnic tables under a sickly yellow security light. No other vehicles. The kind of place you stop not because you want to, but because your eyelids are made of sandpaper and the coffee's worn off. I'd set the parking brake, killed the engine, and reclined my seat just enough to take the pressure off my back. I must have dozed off almost instantly. The knock came 3 times. Sharp, insistent metal-on-metal taps right against my driver's side door. My eyes snapped open. Adrenaline, that old friend, flooded my system. I was still groggy, disoriented. The rest stop was still deserted. The silence so complete I could hear the tink-tink-tink of my engine cooling. Maybe a branch? No trees? A piece of debris in the wind? There was no wind. Then I saw them. 2 kids, a boy and a girl, standing just beyond the wash of my side mirror's light. They looked to be about 10 or 12. They were dressed oddly for the hour and the chill, clean, plain clothes like something from an old catalog. The boy had his hands in his pockets. The girl was the one who had knocked. She was looking right at me through the tinted glass. A deep, instinctual wrongness settled in my gut. Kids, at 2 a.m., in the middle of nowhere. Every rule in the book screamed that this was a trap, a setup for a robbery. Maybe someone else was hiding by the bathrooms. I gripped my heavy maglite, my heart hammering against my ribs. I didn't roll down the window. I just stared back, hoping they'd get the message and leave. The girl leaned closer. She smiled. It was a practiced, empty gesture that didn't touch the rest of her face. She knocked again, twice. "Mister?" Her voice was muffled but clear, oddly flat. "Our car broke down. Can we use your phone? Can you let us in? It's cold. Let us in." The phrase echoed. It wasn't, "Can you call for help?" or "Can you give us a ride?" It was, "Let us in." My skin prickled. I flicked on the cab's interior light so they could see me shaking my head no. I pointed toward the bathroom block, then made the universal phone-to-ear gesture. "There's a payphone," I mouthed, though I had no idea if there was. The boy stepped forward then, right up to the window. He placed a pale hand on the glass. That's when I saw his eyes. They were solid black, not dark brown, not dilated in the low light. Solid, featureless, depthless black from corner to corner, like 2 voids punched into his face. No white, no iris, nothing. The girl shifted beside him, and the security light caught her eyes. They were the same. A cold terror, colder than the Oregon night, locked my joints. This wasn't a robbery. This was something else. Something that wore the skin of children but had nothing childlike behind its eyes. "Please, mister," the boy said, his voice a monotone copy of the girl's. "We just need to come in. Just for a minute. You have to let us in." The politeness was the worst part. The rehearsed, persistent politeness. They didn't demand. They didn't threaten. They just asked over and over. "Let us in." My hand found the ignition key. It was trembling. I turned it. The big diesel roared to life, a sound that shattered the oppressive quiet. The 2 children didn't flinch. They didn't react at all. They just stood there, those black pools fixed on me, their heads tilted in unison. I threw the truck into gear. I didn't look for other cars. I didn't check my mirrors. I just pulled forward, my tires crunching on the gravel. In my side mirror, I watched them. They didn't run after the truck. They didn't wave or call out. They simply stood in the exact same spot, side by side, watching me leave. As the distance grew, the yellow light seemed to shrink around them until they were just too small, dark outlines in a sea of black. And then I rounded a bend, and they were gone. I drove for 4 hours straight, white-knuckling the wheel, not stopping until the sun was fully up and I was in a crowded truck stop in Twin Falls. I asked the waitress about kids on the road at night. She just shrugged and said, "Weird stuff happens. Out there in the dark. I've told the story a few times at counter diners. Most guys laugh it off as fatigue or a prank, but I've seen the look in the eyes of a few older drivers, a knowing, grim look. They've heard the stories, too, the polite knocks, the clean clothes, the endless, empty black eyes. And the one rule that every story agrees on: you never, ever let them in. Sources: the phenomenon of black-eyed kids. BEKs is a modern urban legend with numerous first-hand accounts, documented online and in paranormal literature. Key sources include historical threads on forums like Reddit's r paranormal and r the truth is here, as well as collections of accounts in books, such as The Black-Eyed Children by David Weatherly. While unverified, the consistency of the reported details across unrelated witnesses forms the basis of this story.